スーパーロボ対戦アルファガイデン。
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Colony Drop Cosplay is proud to bring you Robot Rumbles! And today it's a game that I have old classic history with. Look at that classic logo. Look at all them copyrights. Respect the copyrights. Super Robot Wars Alpha Gaiden on the PlayStation 1. Fully translated like a boss. So, before we might let this run a little bit. Hopefully I don't catch no copyrights for that. We'll see how that goes. But I digress. This was the very first Super Robot Wars game that I played. And it's really what got me started on giant robots. Long before I was really watching Gundam on TV. You know, it was just like, hey, my friend, you like Final Fantasy Tactics? Try this game. It's got giant robots. You know Gundam. You know Evangelion. Check this out. And here we are some umpteen years later, and I am the most hyped for X. I am freshly off Robot Wars V and the Royal Rumble, if that gives you a time frame on our recording. But for now, we're going to get this party started. Come on, misses. There we go. Skip that, skip that. Bam! Back to that menu. Yes. Press any button. This is a brand new fresh start, fully translated patch. I'm not going to tell you where to find that. Y'all are smart enough to get that all by your lonesome. Please support the official release. I'm going to read this off to you if I can. New Western Calendar, year 187, December. It's been several months since the finale of what would later be referred to as the Balmar War. While the Earth was saved from great danger thanks to the Londo Bell and SDF forces, this came at a heavy price. The shockwave generated by an ultra-gravitational collapse during the Balmar War's final battle would reach the Earth in 6 months' time, doing massive damage to both the colonies and the Earth's surface, collectively known as the Earth Sphere. However, this information was suppressed by the Titans, who dissolved the SDF and Londo Bell forces and ensured that most people would never find out the truth. Look at that boy Macross in the back. Stage 1, War, again. Now, in advance, I do apologize if the volume of me talking and the volume of the game aren't on the same level. What I hear, what you hear, could be different, but we'll learn this in due time. We'll perfect this as it goes. Perfection is to be strived for. Mission. That's the Titans. Father and Hayato are out of all the times to... How'd they manage to reach here through all of the Far East defenses? To the new South Home Research Lab. This is Lieutenant Junior Grade Jared Mesa of the Titans. Disarm immediately and stand down, otherwise the Titans will open fire. What? Stand down for the Titans? That's right. Give up the lab and Shin-Getter Robo to us immediately. What? What do you plan to do with Shin-Getter Robo when you get it? You guys ought to know the answer to that. We'll use Getter and Project Aegis over the DC Japan branch. What'd you say? How could they know about all that? Guess that's only natural. We've watched over Asia since the Balmar War. Could they have let us set Project Aegis so they could do this? Musashi, Benkei, we sortie. There's no reason for us to hand ourselves over. Yeah, they think we'll just let them waltz in like they own the place? And we are first sorted. Guess that means they'll defy us after all. And won't any of you ruin the peace that we fought so hard to win? Peace? You think the world is at peace right now? Have you, the SDF, and Londobel all forgotten what you caused last time? Good grief, this voice acting is going to be terrible for me while I'm still covering up the cold. The gravitational shockwave you all caused will reach the Earth soon. Thanks to that, there could be huge consequences. In short, you went too far. Shut up! If we hadn't, the Earth would have been destroyed right now. Big talk from some guy who didn't do a thing before. I'm not going to be consistent with these voices at all. I do apologize. I might just read these with some emphasis. Here we go. But we, Titans, were the ones to keep the peace after the war. Because of that, Shockwave protecting the Earth is impossible. Quiet! Project Aegis is in its final stages. It can stop the ultra-gravity wave. Do you intend to hinder that? Right now, we should all be... I told you! We want to execute that project on our own terms. Since the Titans have not only the Far East base in DC, Japan, but the Earth. What? Rio, what he's saying might be true. The Federation's Far East base and the Photonic Ledge are also under attack. What'd you say? And what about DC Japan where Dr. Saotome and Hayato are? It's just a matter of time until the Titans have control of Japan. Disarm! Ellipsis. You think we're giving it that kind of threat? There are tons of super robots besides ours in Japan. It's not going to be that easy. Ellipsis. Very well, then we'll take the new Saoto Lab by force. Musashi, Benkei, don't let the enemy get to the new Saotome Lab. Yeah, I know. Ellipsis. Alright, and for what little it's worth, without explaining how the game plays, after I just said that I was about to, in regards to skill points, since I am a terrible, massive, utterly horrible save scummer, I will get skill points to the best of my ability, considering such. I don't particularly care to save and reload on a constant basis, but I am gonna... Hopefully that's the right button. No, you'll see that there for a second. This is fine. I forget which button, I'll figure it out later. I just wanted to, no. Here we go. Here's our save state. And basically, my habit may or may not be to avoid as many ally destruction as possible, obtain as many skill points as possible, without save scumming like a chump. I'll save at critical times. But in the meantime, let's mission. Defend the Saotome Lab and wipe out all enemies. Defeat is any enemy touches the lab or any of our allies are destroyed. The lab are these four, and you can barely tell. I will try to point this out maybe in editing. There are 4 elevated points here, but we've got a wave of guys here, and these chumps over here, I think will be just fine. Now, I've played this stage several times in attempts and desires to replay this game on my own time, in my own terms. But I never get past stage 7, stage 8 before I get sidelined with some other project, another video game, life. And having just come off of Robot Wars V, good grief, this is going to be so hard to roll back. There's minimal button shortcuts. We'll go ahead and watch a few animations now and again. You know, new attacks.
動きを見切ればどうということはない。ゲッターミサイル発射。
損傷率 70% 突破。まずいな。
After that delicious little snack. As far as the Poseidon Flyer goes, its weapons are exactly the same as the Dragon, so we're not going to watch that at all. Let that play out. Unfortunately, there's also not a fast forward button for any of this kind of stuff. So even skipping animation is going to take a good long while. Oh, still get a dragon, missiles. Now, unlike present day games, this classic one right here does have a skill point system that alters the difficulty of the game. However, they are utterly unlisted even after you've achieved them. For stage 1, our objective is to kill them all, which is more or less the decision we're about to make. Oh, I missed a line there. It's fine. Musashi, what's wrong? If you space out on us, you'll get shot down. Ryo, Benkei, you guys go join Professor and Hayato at DC's Japan branch. What do you say, Musashi? That means they would occupy the lab. If something happens to DC Japan, Project Aegis might stop shockwave, blah blah. I also have a stammering problem. So, I'll do something about this place. You two head for DC Japan. Don't overdo it, Musashi. What do you think you could do by yourself, piloting a Getter robot all one man? Without Hayato here, you can't combine it together. I'll surrender to buy you time. Surrender? To the Titans? Don't be ridiculous, Musashi. But look, the Titans are after the lab and should get a robo, right? They'll be unable to unseal it from underground. It'll just buy us more time. So you guys can worry about protecting DC Japan. Ellipsis. I'm telling you, get going! That project fails, we're screwed either way! I may not be that bright, but even I can get that much. Musashi. Musashi is right. They shouldn't attack the lab itself. So go join Father at DC Japan. You can't let the Titans take it over. What do I do? And here's actually the determining factor of the skill point. We can cut and run like a bunch of chumps, or we can stay here and do what's right. Clearly, there's no option. No, we can't abandon you or Mishuru just to flee to the DC Japan branch. Ryo! Judo and Banjo and the others are there. They won't give in so easily. Plus, I won't tolerate any more of the Titans' oppression. That's right, we'll protect the lab ourselves. Ryo, Benkei. Alright, also enemy reinforcements are on the way. Be careful. Roger, Benkei, Musashi, concentrate on defending the lab. Which I'm doing quite fine over here for the time being. However, because I know things. Actually, terrain. I'm gonna send Musashi over yonder. Nope. What are our spirits? Guts and spirit. Controls. Vigor and strike, which we don't need either of those at this juncture. Oh, good, I can use shoulder buttons to cycle. Destroy this Marasai. This game doesn't really allow overkill unless you go into the cutscenes. You'll see the true number, but on the field map here, you'll more or less just get your flat value of what damage you did. No, no. Yes. This is also a problem because you can't preview an enemy's hit points until you're right on top of it. What I think I want to do is, just because I can, which is probably really dumb, but we'll be fine. This will be fun. Go ahead and watch this cheesy little attack right here. We'll get that theme song change here for a second. Gives me some time to refresh my throat. Vulcan cannon fire. And a critical on some Vulcans. Who said Vulcans were useless? They teach us to live long and prosper. And they shoot down missiles. But that's the end of that turn. Nothing more I can do. Just end the turn. Now, a lot of this will be kind of... I'll try to keep it interesting, but there is a lot of downtime that I may not have much to say. So, they've come. They can still send in more reinforcements. Guys, don't lower your guard yet. Oh, not yet. Okay. And they still won't come for us. And that is kind of my mistake there, but I think we'll be alright. What do we get over here? I'm going to go with the missile machine gun. It saves on energy, and we'll watch it. Now, typically, in your Getter Robo, it's 3-man band. Takes all 3 men to pilot, but this Yon Getter Dragon is a unique 1-man machine. I have never properly watched Getter Robo. I've seen new Getter Robo. Used to have the discs, gave those away a while back. But I know Getter Robo through Robot Wars. So colorful. It's like fireworks. And unfortunately, once you're in a cutscene, you can't skip them. We'll be alright though. Alright. This turn, next turn, next turn. I'm gonna fly your boy back this way. And both haven't been hit, so it doesn't really matter. Alpha Gaiden here is also rather unique in my experience, and I've only played a large handful of the games that you get to control individual machines as a, you know, rather than only the entire robot. We'll see in upcoming stages that it gets quite a bit messy, and further down the way, it gets quite exploitive. But since all of these are ground type units, they are not likely to get where they need to go without getting shot down in the next turn. We'll go ahead and watch this because these are the first time we see these robots. And probably the only time we'll ever see these robots proper. that's our turn. This up here, up in your top right, got your turns, how much money you've earned on this stage. That may be cumulative in later stages, and mastery is the aforementioned skill points. The letter there is a representative of your difficulty. Right now we're on normal, because that's how your game starts. And the more or less skill points you obtain, that will vary your difficulty, which I believe it doesn't change enemy levels, but it might give them in-game upgrades. I've never done the research on this, but that seems to make the most sense. Higher defense, higher evade, all the stuff that you would pay for on your regular machines. More reinforcements? And that's a ZEON model ZIML! They did gather arms after the war. ZAMLs ain't nothing to with. Well, he can't get anywhere. He gotta hold 2 spaces. He gotta hold 2 spaces. That terrain, though. We got an energy point back. We're gonna go ahead with this getter beam. Ideally, this should one-shot, especially if it criticals. And I have a terrain advantage. I have the high ground. Didn't even say the line. I guess that's Ryoma's line. Skadoosh! Alrighty. And he'll do the same. We will use the machine. Dang it! And this is most certainly one of the larger issues in the game. Let's see if I recall... Oh no. Don't do that. That was a mute. One of these button combinations is a fast forward setting, but I think we'll be alright. Use the fireworks. Dang, almost. This is fine. It sounded like it said Mazinger. Irrelevant right now. Here goes Zamel. And a couple of Bylants, piloted by nobodies and nothings. However, fortunately, we also get reinforcements. So the Titans really have reached as far as here. Ellipsis. Are those people trying to start another war, even with the alien threat gone? Judging from they're not attacking the South Home lab, they might want Shingetter. Oh, that was a chick. I forgot about that. Yes, like Lady Une said, they must want to start Project Aegis by themselves. Zeta Gundam and Victory Gundam? Could that be Camille and Uso? I'm Camille Bidano, the Preventers. We'll be your support from here on. Preventers? Not the Londo Bill? Let's go, Uso. Hi. Camille Bidano. I'd heard you'd gone missing along with Zeta, but look who we have here. The Cuppa haters? Cuppa haters? So, well, first let's handle more important matters. How far can I get and delete you? 1, 2, 3 spaces away. Actually, what I think I'll do, go ahead and fly. Get our 3 spaces away. Get her tomahawk. Boom it on. I don't think he says the line. It's not as good. That's a hit. Delete. And he levels up. What a sham. As for y'all, okay, they're all these 2 are the ones that need to go. Oh, here's what we'll do. We will waste all that movement. Sure hit. Ryoma levels up. This is important. This is fine. Okay, and over here we have Uso Evan. V-Dash Gundam. Pilot stats. Evan, it's not clear. We might talk about stats later on. Finesse. Kills. These are actually stats that I don't know. "109 kills. That's no. 98 kills. 97 kills. 106. Is this some kind of weird carryover from Alpha Gaiden? Or is this something that happened in the patch? This is actually bizarre. I never bothered to stop and check stats. I'm a fool and I tend to not play checking stats other than the ones that matter the most. But I digress. The V-Dash Gundam has terrible weapons. Its strongest attack is asking for death. The rest of these are just fine. 8-prong beam saber, that's kind of silly sounding thing, but I technical stats. Spirits. It's 2 pilots. We've got Uso himself, Focus, Mercy, which is fine. Haro, which scan doesn't really help you in these earlier games. That's why it has a cost of 1. It just really shows you the enemy's hit points. Kind of allows you to look at their stats if you have attacked them once already. Guts is fine. I thought one of these... Alert, which is great, and Luck, which is also great early on. Just a shame that a very weak unit has that. Alert and Focus. Zeta Gundam here. Let me show it off real quick. This is good weapons. He has good stats. And he has the ability to transform, which otherwise he would be landlocked. And we need to get over to these guys before they get far too close to the lab itself. Because once they contact the lab, that's when we have problems. Otherwise, we're fine. Uso, what I'm actually going to do is send Uso forward because they haven't moved yet. And they should start moving soon once he's gone. Over here, we've got the white arc, not white base. I learned this back when I watched Victory Gundam itself. Marbet, she's alright. She's decent. Her name's kind of silly. Good support character though. The unit is kind of trash, but it has the all-important repair device. It can move and heal your allies to replenish. If it doesn't move, it can resupply, which I've never been a fan of, but you gotta do what you gotta do. It just doesn't get to move. You have to place your dudes proper. That's going to be the end of this turn. See, as expected. Let me start moving forward. He's not going anywhere, but I guess he's also not attacking. The Zamel is way out of range. Even a 7 is like, we're going to go ahead and watch it. Your other options, besides countering, you have your defense option, which will reduce the damage by a more or less set amount. Your evade kind of cuts their accuracy in half, but that becomes less and less of a half situation as the game goes on. I'm going to go on the good graces of a 37% and hope I don't get hit. And we get to jam out. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. Sing along if you know the words, 'cause I don't. Can't help but kind of jam along with the song. And I moved him just into range. He moves into range. Now at this, we're at a good old point blank. We're going to smash the heck out of him. We're going to eat this hit, but he's going to eat ours. It's going to be delicious. Muy delicioso. Stand up to the victory. Each donamos are sempre united. Oh, dang, I didn't barely take any damage on that. Maybe it's a tank. Hadouken! Oh! Oh! Oh, would you look at that though? Get in there! Alright, that's the end of that. Now, had I cast Fortune, I could have gotten double money off of that. We've got some Zeta and Victory Gundam backing up the Getter Robo team. Our objective here is to not let Chumpy A and Jared Mesa get over here to this base. We got some boys down here too. And we're gonna go for a Hail Mary and another critical. Turn this music on too. Get in there, boy. Now, I have optimized my emulator to the best of my knowledgeable ability. I'm open to advice though, but I can't really do anything about load times other than figure out which button skips frames. Alas, didn't kill. This is fine. Can kind of tank another hit. How far can you move? Not close enough. This is fine. You're fine for it. And then, okay, so we're going to transform Zeta here and see what I can do. Beam rifle. Only one page of weapons. Alas, we don't have any biosensor. Hold up. Will. Okay, will and kills are unrelated. I had to double check that from the last episode. And Well, also an old. I'm gonna call this an inconvenience, despite that it's not. It's an older game. There's no way of really finding out your numbers or whether or not you should use a spell before or after an attack. Just gotta run the risk. We're gonna go ahead and run this risk. As the Zamel won't be able to get in close enough, so we'll be fine. Never really been a fan of Zeta's just in-show music. That's me.
そうやって命を粗末にするのかよ
Pew!
こちらの走行では止められるのか
No, no, it's not.
反逆者に容赦はしないぞ
And survey says, whiff it.
ゼータの動きについてこられるものか
Looks like he has pupils. Just a little bit, anyway. I know Robo does. Zeta should. It's not that old a game. So, what I want to do is, I don't know what I want to do. This situation's fine over here, but I want to send someone to back up Camille on that Zamel. So we're gonna do this. Move Musashi here and take care of this. We don't need to see that again. Delete. And then as far as y'all go, Capricorn and Jerd. Well, actually, after complaining last episode, we're gonna scan your boy Jerd. And a moment ago it had a bunch of question marks, but now we get to see all his stats. We can go into all the detail. Unit stats, pilot stats, weapon info. We can see his hit points, see that he's been wasting energy flying around, which is nothing unusual. What can I do though? I can at least bring y'all up into some fight range. What would you do? You're fine. I'm going to bait Capricorn into attacking Ryoma here and call it. Yes, I'm sure. Well, that failed. They must be going after Zeta. Right arc still outrange, so we're going to try and evade. Good job. Well done. As expected. Although that's not much wasn't expected. Missile launchers. This is fine. We'll check this out. Get this jam. That was weird. I sure will be glad when I'm not congested anymore. You don't have to listen to me sniffle all the time just so I can breathe. Unless you want me to be a mouth breather. Yeah, I won't do that again. Don't worry. Okay, so that's fine. Oddly enough, you can't self-repair. You're not Double Gundam. Hyper Mega Launcher. No, we'll watch this. This is fine. You will fire the big gun, yes. Pew! Well done. That's the end of your turn. Oh dear. Well, that's something to look forward to in the future. Or prevent. Let's see if nobody has Axel. But since only big boys over here are left behind, we can start shuffling back over this way. Do this. Since you have support defend. Support level 1, support level 1. Huh. Is supporting just generic? Find out. Overhang cannon. No? Is Getter out of range? No, you're not. Pilot stats. You have support level 1. Okay, this is logical. New type shield deflect. Well, you have repair and resupply. New type shield deflect. And there's not a. We can't menu. Wait, search? It's SP search. Units. Nope. Dang. Well then. Anyway. Oh! Strange. Okay. Can I push a button on support? I suppose not. Huh. Okay, this has to be an issue with the translation or the emulation itself, because I can turn it on and off, but I can't pick my move. I cannot select the move. We'll see what happens. Sorry about that hesitation, though. Everybody should be focusing on the shockwave. Why don't you realize that? The SDF and the Law Nobel brought it here, and they can't do a thing. Good grief, that felt terrible to do. I do apologize. That's why the Titans should be the one to run Project Aegis. You're the ones who spread false information to everyone about it. Uso is a child. But that's fine. This is fine. Youngest Gundam Pro Tag, go. Ooh! Eat it, sir! Glorious! Ow! Shut up, Haru! God! And here's our support attack, but what weapon do we get? Is it automated? Guitar Beam! Post in the comments if you know who the heck Amelia is. I'm not doing research on him. Chumpies don't get research. I wasn't expecting to go down here. You can see the old quotation marks. You can see the old quotation marks. I don't know why I was hyped over that. Propellant tank. Items I never use. This is okay. Okay. You might defend, so what I want is get her beat in your face. We might hold off on that. This is it yam what it yam. I wonder, am I more likely to hit from the ground? Accuracy went down. Alright. Fly! Fly up to the Get Robo! Alright, I'm just gonna go with that. See what happens. Give up the useless resistance and surrender to the Titans! The hell I will! I'd sooner die than surrender to you guys. I can't do base right now. I need to remember that. Then I'll make you eat those words. I missed. I missed on a 76. And normally I'd have safe scum that because that's not acceptable. But we're gonna be a good boy and we're not gonna do that shit. There we go. Oh, I guess I gotta get all of the spirit. Alright, we'll see what our odds are if I get up in his grill. Even something's better than nothing. When we have better odds than he does, then we're gonna ride it out. You can pay for bringing that shock bait here with your life! Shut up! What do you think? Pfft. Shut up! What did you do in the Balmar War? Just threw Earth into chaos? This time we'll settle things with you guys once and for all. Or not. We have options. Oh, but I get hit. Oh, shit. Okay. Well, here we're going to learn a valuable and hard lesson. Very terrible. Very awkward. And I hate it. So, in this game, should you game over, you will start the stage over with absolutely everything that you had acquired throughout that stage itself, with no point of loss to the to your skill points. You can still get them. This ain't Z. This ain't V. This ain't X. You can have your skill points all day. So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna reload that save. Let's see if I can. Yep, is that it? Okay, so soft reset is shoulder button, start and select. Of course, we'll get this super long load time. Okay, I have a secondary theory, is like old newer games, if we hold start, no, okay. It yam what it yam. Or maybe I'm not holding the right buttons. This is fine. Although, go and grab yourselves a snack while we fast forward through this chump, through Zappa being a chump, Volume 1. This is why I should save scum. This is why I save scum. Okay, so we're now more or less back to where we were. We've learned that if you cast luck, you better get that kill, or you're going to take that loss. It's no bueno. As for you, you will be deleted with a critical. Glorious. Okay, and can I still get support? What we're gonna do is focus, and then go ahead and just do that again. We saw what happened last time. It's not okay. You're rude. Beat you within an inch of your life. Sapoto. And why can't I win against them? Because you're the enemy. Magnet coating. Wait. Didn't I get a different item last time? Check the tapes. As for you, okay, what we're gonna do is save because I'm a chump. That way we're not rewinding back to terrible times again. Okay, that's fine. That should not get a kill. Don't think it'll be that easy to suppress Japan as long as we're around. That's why we're doing things this way to start with. Oh, wait, no. Okay, that's why I got a different item. Capricorn, I wasn't expecting to go down here. Alright, so on that first turn I deleted Jared, and now I deleted Capricorn, and there's our propellant tank. Skill point gain. Point up. No extra funds, no extra parts for simply clearing the stage. That's, I think some stages will give us that, or have item pickups along the way. We are now in the dialogue phase of every stage, where all our good old fun time plots happen, and we're finna find out why we jumped into a pre-established world rather than one where we get to watch things play out. What goes on here? Mishiru, any word from the Far East Space or Photonic Labs? We lost contact with them days ago. Ellipsis. Seems the Titans have launched simultaneous attacks on all of Japan's major scientific institutions, along with the EOT facility. That could mean the Far East Space or the Photonic Labs have fallen to them? There's a good chance of that. We just got here coming from the Sea of Japan. Ellipsis. I think the Far East Space should be fine with the Voltes and Cyber Beast Force there. But still, wasn't the Far East Space shoring up its defenses to deal with just this kind of aggression from the Titans? How could they invade Japan so easily in spite of that? You have a point. There could be a special reason. Ellipsis. By the way, Uso, what are the preventers? If you know Gundam Wing, you know the preventers. Hey, yeah, I thought after the Balmar War, all of Londo Bell's voices were disbanded on Federation government orders. Well, we don't have time to explain. Not with the Titans aiming to occupy DC Japan. They want to take control of the Project Aegis, and with Banjo in the middle of the running. No! They want to take control of Project Aegis, which Banjo is in the middle of running. And we came to Japan in order to prevent that. Alright, I'll get the details later. Benkei and I will head for DC Japan. Musashi, you take care of things here for us. Sure thing. Be careful out there. Oh, well, that's not as much dialogue as I had thought. Well, we'll go on from here. We'll take a look at this menu today. We'll make an episode out of that. How about that? Unit info, that's going to show you all of our variable robots that we have access to its entirety. The Zeta Gundam and its alternate form, the Wave Rider, which is its flight mode, its plane mode, whatever you like to call it, mobile armor. The V-Dash Gundam as a whole, you see its special ability split right there. This one here, I was talking about in episode 1, the bottom attack, will forcibly use the split command after the attack. It is a 1 ammo use, and it ain't too bad for ending a stage, perhaps, because then you're left with the top fighter of the V-Dash there. It's not very good. It's just the head and the legs, which surprisingly you can even have a beam saber? I don't understand. And then your core fighter, which is a further breakdown from the top fighter, which in this game you can eject down to the smallest parts of most robots, including the core fighter, which it's sort of a nice little last-ditch effort should you botch something on, the Victory Gundam. You get a chance to not completely lose the character from the playing field if they've got support spells. I've never really dealt with having this problem, so I don't know if you have to pay the cost of a lost mobile suit, because you can forcibly choose to break down to the core fighter by hitting split again from the top fighter. That's why it has that option. You've got your wide arc over here. That's our support unit for the time being. The Dragon! With a combined ability which we can't utilize yet because we have Poseidon here as well. But anybody who knows Getter Robo knows that's a 3-man band. And we're back to the top. Unit upgrade is what you spend your money on in order to make your robots not as lame. In a long term, you will tend to focus on A, your favorites, and B, your main characters. I find that in many stages your main characters will be forcibly deployed, like it or not, and it's always good to have those folks at least on the level. Otherwise they could gun straight for Camille here, take him out in one hit, and then what are you doing? You're restarting your stage again. You're feeling bad. I have no intentions for any of these, but for visual sake, I will spend some money on its speed. It will make it a little more evasive. Also fine. Switch is something that most mobile suit pilots will get. Anything within its timeline, they'll be able to jump to. Anyone in the Universal Century here, Marbet, Camille, and Uso, you could dump into another Universal Century machine. Now we're going to put Uso in the well, it forces Uso into the Zeta, and then Camille is just kicked out rather than swapped over, which is silly. We're not going to stand with that though. That's no, we don't do that. Pilot info, you can take a look at your pilots. Your question marks are spells that you will learn a long time. There's a lot of math here that I genuinely don't understand. Your melee, that's for your physical attacks on your weapons. It's represented with a fist. Your range, represented with the targeting icon, is for ranged attacks. Defense is for eating hits. Evade is for not getting hit at all. Hit is your accuracy. And I assume finesse is what is now skill, or most commonly called skill. I'm not sure what that actually affects. Comment below if you know what that affects. Let's get some community interaction. Help me help you find out what goes on. Something, y'all remember, something about the stat page on the others had a kill stat. But now we have our kill stat down at the bottom. This is silly. This is preposterous. Must have been a translation error somewhere. Now, this is fine, so long as we know what's going on. I noticed over here, right, you've got a list of other stats. I didn't talk about these stats over here. Let me be consistent. One step at a time, please. We've gone over that. Your SPs, those are your spell points, skill points, unknown skills. Skills, in these older games, you don't get to decide. Most characters are going to have the skills that they're going to have. Prevail is one of the typical super robot skills. The lower your hit points, the higher your evade, your defense. Sometimes your attack power goes up with that as well. Your terrain is your pilot's ability to adapt to that kind of terrain. You see, Ryoma is going to be a hot mess in the sea, but then Benkei is a hot mess in the air, and he's flying a unit that only flies. So this is a wee bit backwards. We're going to hop back over to units. And over here we also have terrain, which is the mobile suit's ability. And between the pilot and the mobile suit, I believe they average out somehow. Space is inconsequential for 90% of your roster. Sea is a hot mess on the handful of sea maps because you're either flying or you're stuck unless you've got an A or higher in the sea. Air is typical for flying, and land is for moving along the ground. As far as the terrain bonuses go themselves, you get a terrain bonus for standing in places like mountain ranges and forests, on buildings sometimes, but that only gets applied when you're physically standing on it. If you're flying over it, you get nothing. Which is why early in the first episode you saw me bring the Getter Dragon down onto the ground, because it actually gave him an active defense bonus. Your move is your move range. Type is your typical, how you'll typically be moving around on the map. You'll see no matter what, this is flying. No matter what, this is on the ground. Air land means that you have the option, which was the fly and the land options that you saw over here on someone who's not here. Buh. Your speed, I suppose, factors into evasion. Your armor factors into your defense. And your limit, I fathom, factors into your skill. Size, like even modern super robot games, the larger or smaller you are in comparison to an enemy, you are more defensive or more evasive, respectively. If you're shooting upwards into a larger robot, it's going to take less damage from you. If you're shooting downwards into a smaller robot, it's got a better chance of not getting shot. But damage works either way. Large hits a small, good night. Yes, let's move on. Weapon upgrade, which is a separate menu from your physical upgrade. Even though you get to look, you can see all your stats. Some weapons, like this Hyper Mega Launcher, do not go in the water. Beams do not traverse the water. Unless it's a beam saber, which is special. You got your crit chance on those. And if you choose to sink a lot of money into it, I suddenly have hiccups now, this is terrible. You will raise your attack power. More. 465,000 currency for what amounts to about 1,000 more damage per weapon. I believe in some cases that might actually not increase at the same pace. Yes. Modules. That'll come in later. That'll come in much later for robots that have variable parts, special backpacks and whatnot. Parts. These are your bonus equipment. As you see here, we got a magnetic coating. It's going to make us easier to dodge and be good. Propellant tank. If you like to eat up all energy, you use all your best attacks when you can use them. That's good for replenishing one time. I don't know, and this is the case with newer games, that it's gone for the stage, but it comes back at the end of the stage. You know, here's what I will do, because I tend not to use this kind of equipment. So we're gonna take this one, and because Camille is going to be someone we use on a long term, we're going to give him this magnetic coating. Settings. What are our settings? Grid display, that can stay. The stereo mono, we're going to keep that on stereo because you're silly otherwise. Vibration, it's not going to matter unless you have a active thing. I'm going to keep that on screen because that's fine. Background music setting. What this does here is, as you saw when I chose a song, when I went to the animation, it played that unit's music and it ran it all the way through until I watched another cutscene or the turn was over. If we put that onto Switch, it will play the music for the cutscene and then we'll go back to the default battle music. This is overwritten as per the Trombe trope by boss themes. Unless it is Trombe, then it will 100% override all music because that's how it is flagged and that's how it should be. Save. Very important. We're going to do that. And we're going to make a backup save because I'm Zafu. Load does that. We talked about switching weapon. And the next map. But the next map is going to be on the next time. On Robot Rumbles with Colony Drop Cosplay. It's your boy Zappa. See you next time.